The growl was the first thing that hit me. Deep, guttural, and impossibly close. I froze, flashlight trembling in my hand, as the shadows around the crumbling remains of Belle Isle Zoo seemed to close in. This wasn't just an abandoned zoo. It was something else. Something alive. It started as a dare. Spend one night locked inside the infamous Belle Isle Zoo in Detroit. Closed for years, the zoo had become a breeding ground for ghost stories. Spectral animals stalking the grounds, zookeepers who vanished without a trace, and shadows that moved when they shouldn't. "You stay till sunrise," Mark said, laughing as he locked the gate behind me. "And breakfast is on us for a month." I laughed too, but the second they disappeared, the silence hit. It wasn't normal silence. It was the kind that pressed down on you, thick and heavy, like the zoo itself was watching. The first hour was uneventful, just rows of rusted cages and overgrown paths. But near the old lion enclosure, I found claw marks gouged into the concrete, leading toward the forested edge of the zoo. The bars of the cage were bent outward, as if something had forced its way out. That's when I heard it. A growl, low and rumbling, echoing from somewhere deep in the shadows. My heart raced as I scanned the area, but nothing moved. I told myself it was just my imagination. But then the whispers started. At first they were faint, almost like the wind, but soon they grew louder, words forming just out of earshot. "You shouldn't be here," one hissed. "Leave," another whispered, sending a chill down my spine. I spun around, shining my flashlight in every direction, but I was alone, or so I thought. I found myself standing in front of the reptile house, its shattered windows reflecting the moonlight. The air inside was damp and heavy, reeking of mildew and something metallic. Blood. The tanks were empty, their glass smeared with dark, sticky streaks. The floor was littered with bones, some small, others cracked open like they'd been gnawed on. Then I heard it, a sharp, rhythmic tapping. My flashlight caught movement in one of the tanks. Something long and black slithered through the shadows, and before I could react, the glass shattered, and it was gone. The whispers followed me out. I tried to retrace my steps, but the paths didn't lead where they should. It was as if the zoo was shifting, pulling me deeper into its heart. I stumbled into the aviary, hoping to find an exit, but the sight inside made my stomach turn. Skeletons of birds dangled from the rafters, their bones clinking softly in the breeze. A piercing screech broke the silence, and I looked up to see a massive shadow circling overhead. Its glowing red eyes locked onto me before it dove, claws outstretched. I hit the ground just in time, feeling the rush of wind as it passed inches above me. Near the primate house, I saw it. At first, it looked like a person, standing perfectly still in the middle of the path. But as I approached, I realized how wrong I was. Its limbs were too long, its movements too jerky, its pale, featureless face tilted toward me, and two faintly glowing eyes pierced through the darkness. It didn't speak out loud, but its voice echoed inside my head. "You don't leave. Not alive." It lunged. I ran, the whispers and growls chasing me. The paths twisted and turned, the zoo refusing to let me go. When I finally saw the gate, I screamed, pounding on the rusted metal until my hands bled. My friends opened it, their laughter dying the moment they saw my face. "What happened?" Mark asked, his voice trembling. I couldn't answer. For weeks, the nightmares didn't stop. Sometimes, I wake up in the middle of the night, certain I can still hear the whispers outside my window. If you ever think about going to the Belle Isle Zoo, don't. Some places are forgotten for a reason.